Units of the Ukrainian Defense Forces were able to push back Russian occupiers in the Udachny area of Donetsk Oblast. So, Ukrainian armed forces rejected the enemy and restored positions in the Donetsk region. This is discussed in a message on Telegram from the analytical resource DeepState. It is specified that the enemy managed to advance in the Kamenskoye area of the Zaparizia region and in Dnepro of the Donetsk region. The Ukrainian Defense Forces have pushed back the enemy south of Udachny. The enemy has advanced near Kamenskoye and in Dnepro, the statement said. Earlier it was reported that the Russian Federation was going to attack with new reserves. The enemy tried unsuccessfully to carry out assault actions. The Russian Federation's attempts to improve the tactical situation were futile. Let us recall that DeepState named the direction of the enemy's advance. The Russians continue to advance in the area of the Zherebets River. Even during the battle for Terny, the enemy was probing the possibilities of entering Yampolovka and found a place northeast of the village, where he sent his infantry, the report states. It is also noted that today part of the settlement is under enemy control and in the gray zone, where the defense forces continue to strike the enemy in attempts to gain a foothold in the village and occupy it completely. An unpleasant situation for the fighters of the 63rd Brigade, for whom the flank is open, despite the fact that the brigade has been successfully holding its area of responsibility for many years, the statement said. Recall that earlier it was reported that Ukrainian forces are successfully advancing in the Belgorod region. The Ukrainian Army is attacking in the areas of Demidovka, Grafovka, and Prilsy. Russian assault troops have returned to the practice of using electric scooters on the front lines. New images have been circulating on social media regarding this. This is likely related to the onset of more favorable weather conditions. Due to the warm weather, the ground on field roads and rugged terrain dries faster, allowing the occupiers to move using this type of transport. Recall, the use of electric scooters by Russian assault troops was also recorded in March in the Kursk region. Meanwhile, they were attacked by Ukrainian FPV drones. This is also due to the depletion of military equipment in the Russian army. Earlier, the 12th Azov Special Operations Brigade released a video showing how the Russians carried out failed assault operations using armored vehicles, motor transport, and infantry on electric scooters. Russian military has actively used motorcycles and quad bikes to capture positions in Ukraine. So, Russian soldiers riding motorcycles, dirt bikes, quadricycles and dune buggies now account for about half of all attacks in some areas of the front. The new tactic is the latest Russian adaptation for a heavily mined, continually surveilled battlefield as Moscow's forces work to achieve small tactical gains. Motorcycles are a good tactic because they are harder for drones to intercept, they are less noisy and faster than armored vehicles. Ukrainian border guards have observed the highest use of the so-called anti-drone corridors within Russia's Kursk region. Andriy Demchenko, spokesperson for Ukraine's State Border Guard Service, said this on Ukrainian television. The majority of these corridors have been recorded by border guards in the Kursk region, particularly in areas where the enemy continues its operations, attacking Ukrainian Defense Forces conducting their mission there. These corridors are covered with nets, allowing Russian military equipment to move while preventing our drones from striking their targets, Demchenko explained. He added that the Ukrainian Defense Forces are working to identify gaps in these corridors, enabling them to either destroy equipment moving through them or target the personnel maintaining them. The concept of net-based defenses gained attention in February when Ukrainian tech specialist Serhiy Beskresnov, known as Flash, shared a video showing a 2-kilometer-long net tunnel near Chasiv Yar, in the Donetsk region built by Russian forces. According to a Russian sapper battalion commander, these nets were placed over exposed roads to stop FPV drones, which may be unable to detect them due to poor analog video quality. Even when spotted, the nets are designed to make it more difficult for drones to reach their targets. While relatively cheap, the installations require extensive labor and are difficult to build in frontline areas, while in rear zones, they can offer effective protection for equipment and logistics. Russia began experimenting with the concept in 2023 near Bakhmut, followed by further attempts using industrial fishing nets reported in the Kupiansk area by mid-2024.
Trump's team made a number of proposals to Kyiv to end the war in Ukraine. One of them concerns the situation around the Zaparizia nuclear power plant. The White House is ready to declare the entire territory around the Zaparizia nuclear power plant neutral, while it will remain under US control, the Wall Street Journal reports. Not long ago, the US president offered Kyiv to buy Ukraine's power plants and nuclear facilities. Even then, Trump said that this would be the best protection for Ukraine's infrastructure. Trump is also allegedly proposing that all electricity generated at Zaparizia nuclear power plant will be supplied both to Ukraine and to the occupied territories. Last week, the head of the Ukrainian Ministry of Energy, Herman Galushchenko, admitted that Kyiv is interested in joint control over the Zaparizia nuclear power plant with Washington. Ukraine needs a lot of electricity to recover from the war. The Russian Foreign Ministry claims that the Zaparizia nuclear power plant is already a Russian nuclear facility, and the Kremlin will not transfer control of it to another country. Ukraine seeks US support in regaining control of the Russian-occupied Zaparizia nuclear power plant and launching joint energy projects. Energy Minister Herman Galushchenko said, "We have a common interest with the United States to bring the Zaparizia nuclear power plant under Ukrainian control and start the operation of this nuclear power plant," Galushchenko said at an Atlantic Council discussion. "It can bring new opportunities for cooperation between us, for example, when it comes to electricity exports." The plant, the largest in Europe and among the top 10 worldwide, has been under Russian occupation since the early days of the full-scale invasion in 2022. Galushchenko suggested that restarting the plant could play a key role in Ukraine's long-term reconstruction. "We will need more electricity for any project that may be implemented in Ukraine, together with the US. We need more electricity to rebuild the country on a large scale," he added. The minister also emphasized that allowing Russia to maintain control of the plant would be a total disaster for global nuclear safety. "If we allow the Russians to keep control of Zaparizia nuclear power plant, even without resuming its operations, it will be a total disaster for everything the world has achieved in the development of peaceful atom